channel. Okay? And then let me share our screen. Okay. So, purihin ng Panginoon sa gabing ito mga kapatid at welcome again sa pagtutuloy po ng ating pong discipleship training. No? At so far, malapit na po tayong matapos dito sa ating training. Meron po tayong 4 na modules na kailangan nating ikumpleto, yung Module 1, Module 2 at 3 and 4. So napakalaga po itong mga modules na ito to complete our training. Hindi lang po makumpleto natin to kasi lahat ng mga lessons na yan ay napaka-importante na malaman natin at ito po ulo ay maipamuhay ng bawat isa, Lord, ng buhay ng bawat isa upang maging tunay na tagapagsunod ng ating Panginoon. No? At sa ating pong Module 1, we talk about pursuing Christ. And then Module 2, Loving God. And then Module 3, Cultivating Godliness. Saka yung Module 4, where we are now is Making Disciples. Yung Module 1, 6 na lesson na po ang ating na-complete. Naka-upload na po yan lahat. Mga lessons na yan sa ating pong YouTube channel. Yung Gospel, Repentance and Faith, Assurance of Salvation, Abiding in the Word, Part 1 and Part 2, saka yung prayer. Yung Module 2, Loving God, 6 na lesson din ang natapos natin. We talk about Attributes of God, Part 1 and Part 2, Delighting in God, Obeying Jesus, Overcoming Temptation, tsaka Walking by the Spirit. Yung ating Module 3, Cultivating Godliness, 6 na lesson din ang ating na-complete. Practicing the one another's, committing to the local church, use of time, money and possessions, humility, and forgiveness. Yung Module 4, 6 na lesson din. Ito po yung ating huling module. Fasting, we learn about fasting, and then we talk about spiritual gifts, evangelism, the cause of discipleship, and where we are now, naumpisa na po natin ito last time, we talk about disciples making disciples. Okay? Ito po yung lesson 23 natin sa ating pong manual. Now, last time we talk about that if you have diligently pursued itong ating lesson sa ating pong training, hindi lang po ito ay sabi nga natin na ito po ay mapag-aralan natin at maalam natin, kundi ito po ay gusto nating ma-apply sa ating mga buhay para ito ay mag-shape sa atin bilang tagapagsunod ng ating Panginoong Hesukristo. However, sabi ito sa lesson natin, no, just a quick recap of what we have learned last time, it is not simply to become a disciple. Gusto nating maging disipulo ng Panginoon, pero to become a disciple of the Lord, you need to fulfill the commission that God has given us, and that is to make disciples. Hindi tayo magiging kontento mga kapatid na maging disipulo lamang, pero magiging complete yung ating pagiging disciple ni Lord kung tayo ay marunong mag-make disciple. Okay, so yun yung ating calling. Parang stepping stone lang yung process to become a disciple of the Lord, pero kapag tayo po ay na-disciple na, kailangan natin ding mag-disciple ng ibang tao. Okay? Before Jesus ascended into heaven, binigyan niya tayo ng commissioning, and that is to go and make disciples of all nations. At the purpose of this lesson, itong lesson na ating pinag-aaralan, is para ma-inspire tayo at higit sa lahat ma-train tayo para ibigay natin ang ating buhay in making disciples. Sabi nga, it is the most important thing you can do with your life. Okay? Last time we talk about also yung kinascade ni Pastor Butsu, no, yung ating pong international director, of how gusto niya yung ating pong organization, World International Ministry, sa lahat ng mga region, we want to turn our local churches into disciple-making communities. Ibig sabihin, yung lahat ng churches natin, ang gusto niya ay pinupulfill natin yung ating commissioning from the Lord, and that is to make disciples. No? Gusto niyang maging ang ating local church para maging isang disciple-making church or disciple-making community. At yun po yung pinagpe-pray natin, no? Even sa ating pong church dyan sa Amman, Jordan. Gusto natin itong ating simbahan dyan ay isang simbahan o katawan ni Kristo na marunong pong tumupad dun sa ating komisyon, and that is to make disciples of all nations. Pinag-aralan din natin from this PowerPoint last time that over the years, naging personalized lang at individualized way yung pagtupad nitong Great Commission. Ibig sabihin, hindi buong simbahan ang gumaganap nito. Naging personal lang dahil kasi at naging individualized lang kasi kaunting tao o iilan lamang sa loob ng simbahan ang merong heart para tuparin itong komisyon ng ating Panginoon, no? At mapansin natin, ito ay sabi nga, it is over the years, no? Napakahabang taon na ang nakaraan nung ibinigay ito ng Panginoong Jesucristo na ito ay naging personalized lang at individualized way kung paano iilan lang ang tumutupad nito, no? At sabi nga natin, napag-aralan natin last time, yung making disciples is a community call, hindi individual role. Hindi ito call ng isang tao lang para sa isang tao. O hindi lang ito call para sa mga pastor o mga leaders lamang o ilang mga members sa church. Pero sinasabi dito sa ating pag-aaral na kinascade ng ating international leader is that yung making disciples o yung paggawa ng mga disipulo ng Panginoon ay tawag ng Panginoon Diyos sa buong simbahan. Ibig sabihin, bawat isa sa atin gusto ng Panginoon na maging kabahagi tayo nitong, sabi nga natin, no, nitong call na ito ng Panginoon, hindi lang po sa iilang tao kundi sa buong simbahan. So it is a community call, no? And that is to make disciples. Now, what attracts the people? Pinag-aralan din natin last time ano ang nag-a-attract para sa tao, para sila ay pumunta ng simbahan, no? Para sila ay magkubit sa atin at magstay, no? At nalaman natin dito yung 4 na P. Okay? Yung place, programs, personality at people. Mahalaga po ito. Mahalaga na meron tayong lugar na maganda kung saan tayo nagwo-worship, na magiging komportable ang ating mga bisita, no? When they come there, mahalaga rin yung may program tayo, no? Mahalaga din yung personality ng mga tao nandoon, yung mga workers, yung mga personality ng mga pastor, no? At maganda rin na yung talagang yung nandoon yung tao, yung people itself, no? Yung bawat member ng church. Sabi nga natin, ito yung nagko-comprise ng lower room. Ito yung mga provision ni Lord upang sabi nga natin ay ito'y nakakadagdag o mahalaga ito para po maganap yung ating mga bagay na gusto nating gawin bilang isang iglesia. Okay, mahalaga po yung place, yung program, personality, and people. Pero kung hindi natin sila dadalhin doon sa upper room, then hindi po kompleto yung ating pong sabi nga natin, yung gustong ganapin ng Diyos sa buhay natin bilang iglesia. Kasi come to think of this, pinagaganda lang natin yung ating lugar, yung ating mga programs, no? Although nandun yung personality and mga people, pero it doesn't mean, mga kapatid, na tinutupad natin yung ating pong commissioning, no? Yung ating pong mission, no? And that is to make disciples of nations. Kaya nga, ayaw natin na ang tao pupunta lang sa atin, magiging comfortable sila dahil doon sa lugar natin. Okay? Ayaw na din natin na ang tao lang ay nag-i-stay sa ating church at pumapasok sila dahil nakita nila maraming tayong mga activities at mga programs. Ayaw din natin na maging kumpante lang ang tao dahil magandang lalaki yung pastor o magaling siyang mag-preach o pagtungkol sa mga personality ng tao. Ganun din naman ang mga people, no? That is inside the church. Paano? Kaya nga may mga sandali na kung ang isang tao pupunta siya sa simbahan dahil nandun yung mga kaibigan niya, no? And that is not what we want to do, no? What we want to have. Kasi kapag umalis na yung mga tao na yon, aalis na rin yung mga tao na yon kasi wala na sila. So we don't want just these 4 things, no? But we want to bring them, mahalaga itong 4 na ito in the lower room. Pero hindi magiging kompleto if we will not bring them up dun sa upper room. And sabi dito, may we not only attract people to our lower room, sabi nga, but usher them to our upper room. At doon yung tinatawag nating vision, yung vision. No, yung lahat ng yan ay provision ng Panginoon to attain our vision. Pero paano natin sila i-usher sa upper room? And that is why we need to usher them by training them, no, by allowing them to grow in their faith, no, by allowing them to grow in service and also by allowing them to be trained as leaders. Kasi napaka-importante mga kapatid yung place, program, personality, and people. Pero kung hindi naman natin sila pine-prepare to be people who make disciples, no? Then nami-miss natin yung ating pong purpose as a church, no? Gusto lang natin, ayaw natin na magiging kampante lang tayo sa ating worship service, sa mga program natin, sa mga taong nasa church. But then, napaka-importante mga kapatid na ang bawat member natin, no, ay lumago sa kanilang pananalig. And that is what believing is all about. Habang sila'y lumalago sa pananalig, kailangan din natin silang sa i-mold para maging manggagawa, no? At that is what service is all about, no? And that is serving. Gusto natin lahat ng mga member natin sa church ay naglilingkod sa Panginoon. Hindi lang sila nakaupo doon every Friday and Sunday, no? Namimiss natin yung opportunity that we are not church goer, no? But we are there as a member of the church who serve the Lord sa mga ministry sa loob ng simbahan. Kaya ang ating pong aim as we disciple ang ating mga members sa church, lahat, bawat isa sa kanila ay involved sa paglilingkod sa Panginoon, sa mga ministry natin sa simbahan. And that is also our prayer dyan sa ating Win Adsman, no? As a ating Win Aman, no? Gusto natin na bawat member natin ay talagang naglilingkod, hindi lang yung mga core leaders natin, kundi lahat ng ating church ay talagang mamold sa kanilang pananalig, yung talagang magkaroon ng pagkakataon na magkaroon sila ng desire to serve the Lord, to serve in the ministry. At the end of this process is that we want them to be trained as leaders. No? So yun yung ating pong gustong gawin, no? Sabi nga natin, we talk about our discipleship process, no? Connecting, belonging, believing, serving, and leading. Okay? This is how we grow disciple-making churches, no? By making them committed participants to the calling of the church. Kasi paano natin mapupulfill yung ating Great Commission to make disciples kung hindi natin na-disciple ang lahat ng ating mga member para maging kabahagi sila nitong calling of the Lord for the church, no? Kaya kailangan natin sila ma-disciple so that as they grow as a disciple, they are also being part of this great calling of the Lord for them also to fulfill the Great Commission and that is what disciple making is all about. Okay? Kailangan nating matrain muna ang lahat ng mga member natin para yung buong simbahan ay makapag-participate in making disciples. By moving them from the lower room to the upper room of the church. Yun yung pong purpose natin. Papupulpi lamang yan kapag when we move them to the upper room and to the upper room doon natin sila tinetrain, no? Minomold in terms of their faith, in terms of service, and in terms of leading, no, for them to become future leaders of the church. Okay, so by making them making disciples and leaders. Ayaw lang natin na talagang maging disciples sila at mga leaders, but we want them to become disciple-making disciples and disciple-making leaders, no? Hindi ka lang leader pero ikaw ay leader na nagme-make ng disciples. Hindi ka lang disciple kundi ikaw ay disciple na nagme-make ng disciple. And that is what is so important for us, no, na talagang ma-fulfill sa ating pong simbahan. And we talk about, no, sabi nga natin, we talk about how do we do that. Meron tayong pong 5 stages or phase 1. Napag-aralan natin last time yung pinakaunang phase o yung pinakaunang stage, and that is seeking friendship. Napag-aralan natin to seek friendship is to connect to the people, no? By what? Through our activities, no? Yung mga birthday parties, yung mga concerts, mga seminar, yung mga ganung klaseng mga activities sa church, no? Ginagawa natin yon as a connecting activity para tayo ay makakonect sa mga tao. Kaya napaka-importante po yung seeking friendship. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, no, hindi ang aim natin is talaga madala natin kagad sila sa simbahan, but to establish friendship with the people. At yun yung nakita nating strategy from the Lord Jesus Christ sa gospel, no? Kaya madalas maraming beses na siya po ay sinasabihan ng mga religious leaders in those times na siya ay kaibigan ng mga sinners and tax collectors. Because that is the strategy na ginagawa ni Lord, no, para makakonect siya sa mga taong nangangailangan ng kaligtasan. Okay? Kaya nga sabi nga ng Panginoon, no, sino ba ang nangangailangan ng doktor? Yung ba ang mga walang sakit? Kundi yung may mga sakit, no? And that is what the reason why he is always after the sinners and the tax collectors. Okay? Kaya nga napaka-importante yung unang strategy natin. If we want to make disciples of nations, of different people, mahalaga yung ma-widen yung circle of friends natin. And how do we do that? Yun nga yung seeking friendship with people. Kaya napaka-importante na dumami yung ating pong mga kaibigan, no? At tayo makapag-establish ng friendship sa iba't ibang tao kasi napakalaking opportunity po yan, mga kapatid, na in the long run, kapag tayo po ay naging related na sa kanila, ito po ay magdadala sa atin at hindi na po mahirap na sila ay ma-invite na natin sa loob ng simbahan. Kaya nga tayo po magiging patient sa mga taong namimit natin, no? Although from time to time ayaw pa nila magpunta sa church, no? As we come to know them, okay lang po 'yon. Pagtiyagaan niyo muna talaga na sila'y makonect, na kaumustahin, tawagan, imbitahin sa mga gathering natin. Kaya nga sabi ko nga, no, yung kapag tayo, sabi ko nga last time, nung last Wednesday, na kapag meron tayong mga birthday celebration after the church service sa ating fellowship house, no, why not we invite people, no? Na we go to the Duartani and then ask them to come. We have a celebration there. You are invited. And there are food there, so they will able to come and see, no? Yung parang nagmamatsyag lang sila, no? And it's a good opportunity for us to meet people, good opportunity to establish friendship with other people. Hindi tayo nagmamadali na daling kagad sila sa simbahan. Pero napakaganda na kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng friendship, yan ang napakalaking opportunity at good strategy for us to strengthen relationship with people. In the long run, kapag na-establish yung friendship na yan, napakadali na po nating ma-invite at maka-establish ng relationship. And that is what phase 2 is all about. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng relasyon sa isang tao kung hindi ka muna magko-connect sa kanila at magiging kaibigan mo sila. From friendship, you build relationship with them. And that is phase 2. No, dahil yun yung gusto nating ma-establish. As you grow in friendship with people, sabi dito, you build relationship with them. And ito yung ating phase 2 dun sa ating discipleship process. Diba? Connect and then belong. Okay, what do we mean by belong? As a church, let us strive to build relationship. By this, we've been inviting friends to serve as guests in our gathering in small groups. As a warm and friendly church, we make it our goal to make them feel welcome at home when they visit us. Ito naman yung mga pagkakataon na kapag, okay, naka-friend ka na, na-establishan mo yung friendship sa tao, tapos ito na, no, na-invite mo na sila sa church. Napaka-importante na kapag sila'y pumasok sa church, no, kasi itong mga taong ito, when they enter the church, they observe. Laging titingnan yan, no? Kapag pumasok ang tao, meron bang magbi-meet sa kanya? Meron bang, are they welcome there, no? Yung para bang, meron bang taong lalapit sa kanya, no? And that is, napaka-importante po yung ating church to be some church that is warm and friendly church, no? Na ang magiging goal natin is for everyone when they come there, they will feel that they are so welcome and at home with us. Okay? So napaka-importante that we are careful not to put pressure on them to believe the gospel but instead respect their space and time. Kasi yung mga tao kapag punta sa church natin, huwag tayo magbadali na talagang dalhin natin sa church sa harapan para tumanggap sila. No. Sometimes nape-pressure ang tao kasi kapipilit natin. Okay, napilitan silang pumunta sa harapan and then even though they will pray the sinner's prayer, pero deep inside their heart, hindi taimtim yung kanilang panalangin. Kaya parang wala ring saysay mga kapatid yung sinner's prayer kung na-pressure lang sila at napilitan tanggapin yon. it should be somehow that nabukal sa kanilang kalooban at puso yung kanilang gagawin. Kaya we don't want them to pressure them to believe right away. Hayaan lang natin sila nasa church, no? Hayaan lang natin sila mag-observe, no? Let us respect their space and time. Sinasabi natin, acknowledging that everyone is in a spiritual journey. We let them enjoy their visit and allow God's Spirit and His saving grace to work in their hearts. So wag na natin silang madaliin. Ang maganda doon, nag-e-enter na sila sa simbahan, wag natin silang madaliin at talagang maging kagaya nila tayo kagad. Okay? Kasi they are still in the spiritual journey, no? Ano muna sila, nag-o-observe. At napaka-importante nga na talang as they observe, makita nila yung difference. Makita nila how friendly we are. Makita nila na talagang ganun tayo mga believers in the Lord na maayos, no? Yung come to think na nandun yung warm welcome, nandun yung sabi nga natin that binibigyan natin ng kahalagahan yung mga taong pumapasok sa church. And that is how we build relationship in our church, no? Especially with the new people or the newcomer, no? Kapag sila'y pumupunta sa ating simbahan. So, from connecting, we move them to building relationship. And then, dito nga papasok yung tinatawag nating phase 3, yung nurturing faith. Now, when we nurture their faith, ito na yung time na dinadala na natin sila doon sa upper room. Kasi yung connecting and belonging, doon yun sa baba. Okay, 'di ba? Nandoon yung people, nandoon yung program, nandoon yung place, nandoon yung personality, no? So nandoon lang sila, but then when kapag nandoon na talagang somehow they are part of the church na, no, tumanggap na sila sa Panginoon, that's the time that we need now to bring them to the upper room. And to the upper room, mag-uumpisa yan is that when we nurture their faith. We need to nurture their faith. As a church, let us recognize that every person is on a spiritual journey. Lahat tayo nasa journey, no? Yung journey natin, mga kapatid, with the Lord, iba-iba yung ating sabi nga natin, degree or stage where we are in our journey with the Lord. Merong mga tao sa kanilang spiritual journey, nag-uumpisa pa lang. Maaring yung spiritual journey mo ay medyo matagal na, no? As you grow in years with the Lord, meron naman na talagang nandun na sila, no? Yung halos sabi nga natin, matagal na yung kanilang years in their walk with the Lord, no? So iba-iba yung degree. Meron nag-uumpisa pa lamang, meron yung para bang ngayon pa lang na lumalago, meron naman yung talagang continuous na yung kanilang commitment, no? So iba-iba yung journey natin. So therefore, believing is a process everyone will undergo. Some people may be ready while others are still processing, and yet others may take more time to believe. Tama yun. Iba-iba yung degree natin, no? Iba-ibang pamantayan natin. Meron mga tao na ready na, meron ng mga tao na hindi pa ready. Kaya that explains na sa isang church, meron pang mga believers na hindi pa po ready magpabaptize. Meron namang mga tao na gusto na magpabaptize, no? So iba-iba yung ating journey. Meron naman na pinoproseso pa, meron na yung talagang nandun na rin na medyo napoproseso na sila, no? So it may take time, no, to believe, no? Others may take more time to believe. However, once a person believes, nurturing faith is what we do next. By this, we mean encouraging them to regularly attend worship gatherings. Dito na natin sila ini-encourage na umattend sa mga gatherings natin, yung para mag-commit sa mga Bible study group natin, no? Sa ganitong klaseng training at pagtitipon para po ma-nurture sila spiritually and get to experience what a community of faith is all about, no? So kailangan natin na talaga ma-nurture yung kanilang pananalig, yung kanilang faith in the Lord, no? From being connected and how they had been established now in their relationship, but also we bring them to this stage para po ma-nurture yung kanilang faith. Yung ating phase 4, kung titingnan natin, ito naman yung serve, no? Ini-inspire naman natin sila na maglingkod sa Panginoon. So habang sila lumalago na sa kanilang pananalig sa Panginoon, no, we now process them to be inspired to serve God. In what way? Sa mga ministry natin sa simbahan, no? Let us encourage new believers when they are ready to join and serve in the ministry. Marami tayong mga ministries sa church, no? We are inspiring service. By this, we mean helping them to discover the spiritual gifts. Ginawa na natin yan, di ba? Yung sa ating pong retreat, tapos nagkaroon tayo ng mga session, na-discover na ninyo yung mga spiritual giftedness ng bawat isa sa inyo. I hope and I pray na dinidevelop nyo yun, no? Dahil hindi po aksidente yung mga ginawa nating mga nung tayo po yung nag-fill up or na tinry natin yung atin, no, to discover our gifts. I believe this is really, yung mga lumabas doon is really your spiritual gifts. Yung tatlong mataas doon, it may be all of them are your gifts, maybe one of them is your gift. So napaka-importante yung tatlong yon i-consider natin, ipag-pray, i-develop. So kailangan nating i-enhance yung mga giftedness na yan para maging ito'y makatulong sa atin in enhancing our abilities and improve yung mga talents natin, no, na God-given talents, no, bukod dun sa spiritual gifts natin, at gamitin daw natin yon sa paglilingkod sa ating Panginoon. Kaya yung mga spiritual gifts, no, kailangan ma-discover yon, ma-enhance para magamit natin sa paglilingkod sa Panginoon. Kasi doon tayo gagamitin. Kaya nga sabi ni Paul, if your gift is teaching, then teach. No? Kung ang gift mo ay administration, then you involve on that kind of ministry. Meron naman yung iba't ibang mga klaseng gifts, no, na nakita natin, na explain na natin yan nung when we discover spiritual gifts. Napaka-importante po mga kapatid na now that you know your gift, pray for it. Kailangan natin ma-enhance yun, ma-develop pa yung mga gift na yan para tayo po lumago upang ito'y magamit natin sa loob ng simbahan. So they are motivated to serve with their lives. Now, how do we serve? No, we serve with our lives. We serve with with time, talent, resources, and to help in building up the body of Christ. So we use our lives. Ginagamit natin yung oras. Kaya nga sa paglilingkod sa Panginoon, kailangan ng oras. Kaya may mga sandali na yung mga ibang mga Kristiyano, bakit sila hindi makapaglingkod sa Panginoon at makapag-involve sa ministries? Because they lack time, no? Pero kung tutuusin naman, kung titingnan natin ang ating mga buhay, we have a lot of time, no? Kaya lang hindi natin na marunong masabi nga natin maging good stewards of our time, no? Yung napag-usapan natin yan sa mga previous lesson natin na maging good stewards tayo ng oras natin. Kapag nawala na yung oras na yan, hindi na natin maibabalik. Kaya nga napakaganda na marunong tayong, sabi nga natin, i-prioritize yung ating oras. No? Magamit natin bawat sandali, bawat minuto sa lahat ng mga bagay na dapat gawin, including in serving the Lord. No? Gusto ng Panginoon kasama dun sa ating pong oras yung paglilingkod sa Kanya. Hindi lang tayo involved sa ating sarili, sa ating trabaho, pero napakaganda rin naman within that time that the Lord has given us. Meron tayong time to pray, may time tayo to study the word of the Lord, may time tayo to worship, may time tayo to attend the church, may time tayo always to attend the prayer meeting, may time tayo always to attend itong training, may time tayo lagi always to attend yung ating pong mga gawain sa Panginoon. May time kayo sa pamilya ninyo, may time kayo sa sarili niyo, may time kayo sa Diyos, sa ating Diyos. So gusto ng Panginoon lahat ng lahat ng mga aspect na 'yan. Meron tayong oras para sa lahat ng 'yon kasi mahalaga po 'yon. Okay? So wala tayong sinasayang na oras. So we use time to serve the Lord, to serve the church. Yung talent natin, we use the talent to serve and to build up the body of Christ. Yung ating mga resources, yung pag sinabing resources, ito yung ating pong mga bagay na ibinigay sa atin ng Panginoon, including yung mga ating financial provision ng Panginoon sa buhay natin. Napag-aralan natin last time, no, yung the cost of discipleship. Di ba? Sabi nga natin na when we talk about giving up our possession to become a true disciple of the Lord, it means to give up our ownership of what we have. Sometimes, sabi nga natin last time, no, to connect us in this, nagiging hadlang yung ating pong mga resources kasi ang isip natin, pag-aari natin yon. Pinagtrabahuhan mo yan, kaya hindi mo na isi-share yan, hindi mo siya ibibigay kahit kanino, no? It's because ang isip natin at ang ating ina-acknowledge ay sa iyo yon. But then if we give up that kind of ownership of all those resources and acknowledge that it is God who owns it, madali po ibalik kay Lord yan, madali ibigay sa taong nangangailangan. And that is also being used to help in building the body of the Lord. Okay? Kaya yung mga tithes natin, ginagamit natin yan sa mga pangailangan ng simbahan to build up the body of the Lord. And that is all about service, no? Now, we use all aspect of our lives in serving God, in serving people, and also in serving the church. Okay? Now, yung pinaka-phase 5 ng ating pong last stage ng ating pong disciple making is yung empowering leaders. Not only you inspire people to serve, but you empower them to become leaders. Gusto natin, ang aim natin ng bawat isa sa inyo ay maging leaders ng simbahan. Pag sinabi nating leaders, hindi lang leaders ng simbahan, pero maging leaders ng inyong pamilya, maging ma-empower kayo mga leaders kung saan kayo tinawag ng Panginoon. So hindi lang po empowering to become leaders of the church. No? By this we mean continuously equipping and raising potential leaders who are qualified and able to lead and guide others through the same discipleship process. Okay, so parang sabi nga natin, ini-empower natin ang bawat isa sa inyo para in the long run, no, in due time, magiging mga leaders din kayo, no? That after you become leaders and you are empowered now as leaders, kayo naman ang gagamitin ni Lord, no? Na para maging leader ng ating simbahan, no? And that is also to make disciple. Okay? We believe in developing and deploying spiritual leaders to make meaningful impact not only in the church context but also in their respective families. Kaya nga sabi nga natin dito, pag sinabi nating leaders, ang aim natin is to become leaders in the church, but not just leaders in the church, but in the context of their families, no? Maging leader kayo ng inyong pamilya, ng inyong komunidad, no? At the same time, yung inyong mga kung saan tayo nagtatrabaho, no? Yung napaka-importante po yun, no? So, kailangan natin po talaga na ma-equip, ma-raise natin at ma-qualified tayo, ma-enable tayo at ma-lead at mag-guide dun sa mga bagay po kung saan tayo pwedeng gamitin ni Lord. Hindi lang po mga manggagawa, kundi to become leaders on where the Lord is calling us. Okay? So, napaka-importante po yung ma-empower natin sila to become leaders. No? Kaya yun yung napaka-importante. At sa organization natin, as World International Ministry, itong 5 stage na ito yung strategy natin, ito yung process natin to make disciples. And for us to grow as a disciple-making church, kailangan natin na ma-fulfill itong 5 stages na ito. Kailangan natin ma-involve or we move people from these stages, no? Para po makapag gawa tayo o makapag-develop at maka-make tayo ng mga disciples of the Lord. Ito yung parang strategy natin. Ito yung proseso natin kung paano tayo gumagawa ng mga disciple ng Panginoon. Nag-uumpisa sa connection, sa connecting, and then belonging, and then believing, and then serving, and then leading. Okay? Now, ministry challenge. Ano yung challenge natin? Growing disciple-making churches is a challenging task that cannot be achieved quickly or easily. Tama yon. Hindi ito madali. Hindi natin mamadaliin at hindi rin ito napakadaling gawin. It takes time to transform our local church into a disciple-making communities. Come to think of this, no? Mag-iilang taon na yung Win Aman. Di ba? Mag-celebrate na naman tayo ng anniversary this coming October. Okay, sa habang taon na yan na meron tayo mga kapatid, come to think of this. Have we really fulfilled itong disciple making? Are we really a disciple making church? Kasi although we are in that process already, no, we are already in that process, but it will really take time to transform yung ating church to become a community or to become a church who makes disciples. Kasi kung hindi natin nabigyan ito ng time nung mga unang taon ng ating pong iglesia, then we are missing a lot. But praise be to the Lord naman dahil unti-unti na natin bubuksan ito sa bawat isa at na-usher na yung ating simbahan dyan sa Aman dito sa mission na ito ng Panginoon. Then I believe that time will come that all of us, no, itong simbahan na ito will be transformed into a local as a local church into a disciple making community. Although sabi nga dito, ito yung challenge nga, no? Although the journey and process may be lengthy, bagamat medyo mahirap talaga ito, hindi ito ganun kadali, hindi ganun sabi nga natin, quickly, no? But it is lengthy, gradual, and tiresome. It is a biblical route to attain spiritual growth for our churches and expansion of our ministries. Kaya nga, napaka-importante na talagang ang mahalaga, ang lahat ng ating mga members sa church ay ma-involve dun sa proseso na yan, no? Ma-involve sila dun sa journey na yan. Although matagal ito at magiging gradual po yung transformation, yung proseso, sometimes nagiging parang tiresome, no? Nagdudulot ng parang sabi nga natin, no? But then ang yung pero naman kung ano yung pero kung titingnan natin yung ma-attain natin, no, as we do these things, it will bring, no, it will attain spiritual growth sa ating pong simbahan at ito'y magdudulot din para ma-expand yung ating pong hindi lang yung church natin kundi yung pati na yung ministry natin. So come to think of this, no, kaya nga kung mapapansin natin, no, yung kaya nga sabi nga natin we talk about discipleship by multiplication, no? Kaya nga na-challenge tayo nung last time, come to think of this, sabi ko nga nung last time, no? Kahit sa isang taon makapag-disciple tayo ng isa na lang, no? Ilan tayo, no? For example, if we are 20 in this group or we are 25 in the church, no? But come to think of this, by the end of the year, kung na makapag-connect tayo, nakapag-build tayo ng relasyon, tapos na-disciple natin sila by nurturing their faith, no, na inspire natin sila sa service at na they are now in the process to become leaders, no. So during that 1 year time, no, although hindi man yun matapos yung 5 stages na yon, but then mahalaga naman na continuous yung ating discipleship do sa taong to. Come to think, double po yung ating pong number by the end of the year. And that is what discipleship is all about, no? Kaya yun nga po yung makikita natin dito, na-expand yung ating pong ministry, dumadami yung ating bilang, it brings spiritual growth, no, sa ating mga members. At the same time, spiritual growth when it comes to the church in terms of number. So makita natin doon. Kaya nandun yung challenge na ito sa bawat isa sa atin. If we really want to become a disciple-making church, then we need to take this challenge, no? Although matagal yan, medyo mahirap, but then ang mahalaga, nandun na tayo sa proseso. At maganda, maumpisahan na. So that it will be, sabi nga natin, although it will take time, no, but then ang mahalaga doon, we are in that process already. And that is then the challenge that we have. Okay? Ano pa yung challenge natin? The concept of disciple making as a community call, sabi nga natin, making as a community call and not an individual role entails a change in one's perspective and intentional efforts to grow a church culture that promotes disciple making as a church. So come to think of this, no, hindi lang yung proseso medyo matagal at hindi po ganun ka-quick, no? But then ang isa pang challenge natin dito is that come to think dahil maraming taon na ito'y naiilan lamang ang gumaganap nito, no? Naging individual role lang, hindi a community call. But pero to magkaroon ng transition from individual role to community call, yun yung challenge. Okay? Para magkaroon ng changes from individual role to community call, merong kailangan mabago, no, sa perspective ng isang tao, sa perspective ng mga members sa church, no, magkaroon ng change in their perspective, magkaroon ng intentional effort para maglago ng isang simbahan na magpo-promote nitong disciple making as a shared responsibility. So magkaroon tayo ng shift in our perspective na hindi lang ito call ng mga pastor, hindi lang call ito ng iilan lamang, or ng ilang member lamang, pero ito ay community call. Pag sinabi natin community call, buong simbahan ang call dito, no? And to change that from individual role to community call, it takes really a challenge, no? Kaya kasi kailangan nating ma-change yung ating perspective at pananaw patungkol sa mga bagay na yon at magkaroon tayo ng intentional na effort para lumago itong simbahan natin and to promote itong tinatawag nating disciple making as a shared responsibility. Ibig sabihin, ito ay responsibilidad ng bawat isa sa atin. We share in that responsibility. All of us. Sabi nga natin, walang hindi kasama. Ito ay shared responsibility by all members of the church. So by working together as a community of faith, we can fulfill the Great Commission. Hindi natin mapupulfill ito kung iilan lang tayo. Pero but when we work together as a community of faith, as a one body of Christ, mga kapatid, 100% we can fulfill this great commission of the Lord and make a lasting impact on the world. Come to think of this, come to think kung lahat ng simbahan sa buong mundo, whether World International, anumang church yan, denomination, and they are fulfilling the Great Commission and they are turning their church as a community of faith, as a church who make disciples, then nagkakaroon ng impact yan sa mundo sa pamamagitan ng transformed lives of our members. Kaya nga napaka-importante po mga kapatid yung transformed lives. Pero hindi magkakaroon ng transformed lives sa ating pong buhay kung hindi tayo magpapasakop, kung hindi tayo mag-undergo nitong proseso na ito. No? Gusto natin matransform ang ating mga buhay at napaka-importante na sabi nga natin yung maproseso tayo o maging part tayo nitong stages na ito of how we disciple or how we make people to become disciples of Jesus Christ. At napaka-importante po yung transformation. Christianity is all about transformed lives, mga kapatid. Yan ang pinaka-importante dyan. It's not about, sabi nga natin, not about growing in years because it is possible that you are growing in years, 15 years, 10 years, pero ang tanong, out of that 10 and 15 years, na-transform ka na ba? Or you are still the same, no? Kaya mahalaga po yung transformation, no? Yung natatransform tayo sa bawat taon na nadadagdag sa atin bilang mga tagapagsunod ng ating Panginoon. Unti-unti natin nakikita yung pagbabago, natatransform tayo sa iba't ibang mga area ng ating buhay. Sabi nga ni Lord, no? Sabi nga sa salita ng Panginoon, we are being transform from glory to glory, no? Sabi nga natin, it takes time. But ang mahalaga, sabi nga natin, it's every moment of our life, we are being transformed, no? Sabi nga natin, and at the end of that, sabi nga natin, we are transformed to become like the Lord. Kaya napaka-importante po ito yung challenges na hinaharap natin, no? Para maging disciple-making church tayo, no? Kailangan natin yung mabago yung ating pananaw na hindi lang ito iilang dapat gumanap noon, kundi buong simbahan dapat ang gumaganap nito as a shared responsibility. Okay? Now, another ministry challenge that we need to face if we want to become a church who make disciples, we aim to see all our Win local congregation around the world become a community of disciple-making churches that are passionate about their calling. Maging passionate daw tayo sa ating calling. We believe that this can be achieved through ministry collaboration, combined training, equipping. Kaya mahalaga ito para magkaroon ng passion sa ating calling. Napaka-importante po na ma-achieve natin yung ating aim na yan, no? Yung to become a disciple-making church sa pamamagitan ng mga training daw, no? Magkaroon tayo ng collaboration. Pag sinabi natin collaboration, nagkakaroon tayo ng collaboration sa iba't ibang mga churches natin, no? Nagkakaroon ng collaboration yung church natin sa Dubai, no? Nagkakaroon ng collaboration yan sa ating church diyan sa Amman. Kaya naumpisahan na natin diyan, no? Yun nga yung gusto nating mangyari, no? Na itong Dubai maging part, no? Maging katuwang diyan sa Amman sa mga gawain diyan, no? To magkaroon ng training. Yun nga yung purpose bakit pinadala natin si Pastor Benji, Sister Bobby diyan, no? At sabi nga natin, we agree na hindi po lang one time yung visit nila dyan. We will schedule them again for them to have a follow-up visit there. We will work it out, no? We will continue to pray for it. At hindi lamang po sila, no? Ang aim natin this coming October, meron pong kaming plano, no? Nagpaplana po yung Dubai na perhaps during our anniversary, meron pong mga ministry tayo, no? Mga manggagawa dito sa Dubai na magbi-visit diyan, and they will be ministering to us as well, no? So pray for that also, no? Pino-prepare po natin 'yan. So ang aim natin, sabi nga natin, is that hindi lang po in Dubai, kundi pati na rin yung church sa Abu Dhabi with Pastor PG. We will work it out na yung lahat ng mga churches dito nagko-collaborate, nagtutulungan, no? Kung saan merong mga giftedness, pinadadala yung mga taong yon to train para ma-equip po yung mga kailangan ma-equip, yung mga resources, no? Yung resourcing leaders and members, and to create a network of support. Magkaroon tayo ng support, yung network of support, yung network of encouragement, and sharing of the best discipleship practices. Yung sineshare natin, yung mga practices natin, where we are gifted, no? Kung itong church na ito, very gifted sila sa ganung bagay, we share that giftedness to other churches who needs it. So yun yung tinatawag nating ministry collaboration, and we are trying to do that, no? So that our church may be grown to become a disciple-making church. So ito yung challenge natin, no? As a church, no? As Word International Ministry. Another challenge here, nonetheless, it is imperative for every Win local pastor to take ownership of this vision and lead the way. No, kaya nga yung role natin bilang mga pastor, no, kailangan napaka-importante po na talagang we take ownership of this. And it is through these leaders and pastors who will lead the churches in this direction. Kaya nga, sabi nga natin, all senior pastors should initiate this movement, as they are the main drivers of this global ministry focus. Kaya nga, nung ibinigay ito ni Pastor Bus, ito ibinigay niya doon sa mga regional director, at yung mga regional director, ibinibigay nila, didisseminate, kinakascade sa lahat ng mga pastor sa iba't ibang region, no? So that ito mga leading na ito ng ni Lord, no, from the top leadership, ito ay bababa sa bawat simbahan through mga pastors. And to do that, lahat ng mga pastor, they need to take ownership of this, na talagang ito yung vision na gusto ng Panginoon ganapin ng Diyos sa ating buhay bilang isang iglesia. Kasi come to think of this, we are at church but we are not fulfilling our commissioning from the Lord, no? Nakakahiya, no? Nakakalungkot sa ating puso na church tayo pero hindi natin na-attain yung commission natin sa Panginoong Jesucristo. That is to make disciples. So but then we thank the Lord dahil nandun na tayo, no? So without their committed guidance, engagement, and participation, this worldwide direction will not come to fruition. So hindi ito pang mangyayari without the help and the leading of all our pastors and leaders. Kailangan natin na talagang tayo yung maging main drivers nitong global ministry focus na ito from the Lord, no? At tayo po yung magdadala at magli-lead sa ating simbahan para maganap po itong calling, itong vision ng Panginoon at ang mission ng Diyos para sa buhay natin bilang iglesia. Okay? So final thought, sabi niya no, sa ating sabi ng ating leader, sabi niya, in order to carry out our Win global mission of winning people to become followers of Jesus Christ, it is critical to cultivate churches that place disciple making as a top priority. Gagawin daw natin itong top priority, intentional din. Ibig sabihin, sa lahat ng ating program, lahat ng ating mga ginagawa, it should always to fulfill our mission, and that is to make disciples and to win people to become followers of Jesus Christ. Diyan daw ang dapat top priority natin. Pag sinabing top priority, lahat ng ating activity, yun ang ina-attain. Yun yung goal. Bakit natin ginagawa itong mga training na ito? To prepare the church, no? For us, to prepare the people to be part of this mission, no? Kaya nga, this proposal outlines a comprehensive strategy that liberates our WIN discipleship process, incorporating our fundamental WIN core values, no? Itong worship, outreach, relationship, and discipleship. Kaya nga, itong pangalan nating Word International, no? Yung Word, yung WORD, yan po yung ating core values. Hindi lang siya pangalan yan. Pag sinabi nating word, it represent yung W dyan, worship, yung O, outreach, R, relationship, yung D, discipleship. Ibig sabihin, as Word International, ito yung core value natin. Dito umiikot yung ating ministry. In worship, in making outreach, in establishing relationship, in making discipleship, or in making disciple through discipleship. At to reach this goal over the next 5 years, no? Through collaboration endeavors, we are confident that the WIN Global Community can grow into a movement of disciple-making churches that are dedicated in accomplishing the mandate of the Lord Jesus Christ. So, with our process, yun nga yung discipleship process natin, no? Yung connect, belong, believe, serve, lead, plus itong ating core values, yung worship, outreach, relationship, and discipleship, I believe we can do this. Kaya mahalaga yung core value natin sa worship. Kaya nga, napakaganda yung training ninyo na hindi lang po tinitrain kayo ni Pastor Benji, ni Sister Bobby in terms of technical about worship, pero yung biblical foundation of worship. Kaya nga yung inyong mga pag-aaral every Monday, Tuesday, yung Wednesday, hindi lang po technical yon. Tinuturuan kayo about instrument, but then, anong halaga na marunong kayong tumugtog o mag-gitara, song lead kung hindi naman ninyo alam kung bakit kailangan ninyong gawin yon in terms of biblical foundation. So, sa biblical foundation, doon ninyo pinag-aaralan what worship is all about, what is praise, no? At I think napakaganda na magkaroon muna tayo ng biblical foundation, what worship is all about. At secondary na lang talaga yung ating technical o yung physical in terms of training, no? Outreach, ito na po yung mga mission, no? Yung pag sinabi ng ating outreach, diyan papasok yung ating pong evangelism, diyan papasok yung ating pong connecting, no? And then yung relationship, pag sinabi nating relationship, dito natin in-establish yung ating relationship as fellow believers in the Lord. Discipleship, ito yung mga training natin, mga pag-aaral, no, na makakatulong para for a person to become a true disciple of Jesus Christ. Okay? Why churches do poorly? Bakit tingin ninyo maraming churches na very poor sila sa paggawa ng disciple? Okay, bakit poor sila? Hindi sila yung ganong ka-active. May mga reason. Ang sabi dito, siyam na reason, yung ibang mga churches daw merong have a clear, no? Iilan lang daw ang church na merong clear, measurable definition of what spiritual success and maturity is all about. Ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng simbahan merong clear understanding of what disciple making is all about, no? About itong tinatawag nating spiritual success and maturity. We have defined discipleship as head knowledge, no? Sa atin, more of training lang tayo what discipleship. Kaya nga, itong training natin, it should not be a head knowledge. Yun nga yung sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, pag graduate tayo dito, hindi lang ito parang natutunan ninyo. But it should be, it should really somehow we will able to use it na talagang ito'y magganap sa atin, no? Kasi kung head knowledge lang yan, so parang natutunan lang natin pero hindi naman natin ginawa, no? So another reason, we chosen to teach people in random rather than systematic ways. Apat na reason, there's virtually no accountability. Wala tayong accountability of what we say, think, do, or believe. When it comes to discipleship, we promote programs rather than people. Okay? So hindi rin maganda na laging program lang, no? But we want to promote people. We want them to be transformed, no? Yun nga yung reason bakit tayo may program, to transform people. So the primary method that churches rely on for spiritual development fails to provide comprehensive spiritual nurture, no? Hindi tayo nagbibigay ng Hindi natin naalagaan yung ating mga tao, no, to provide spiritual nurture. At the same time, yung mga leaders natin are not serious about spiritual development. Why churches are poor is because in disciple making, because we invest our resources in adults rather than children. Okay, that's true. Pag sinabi nating discipleship, it includes our children kasi sila yung mga future generations natin. Sila yung mga future leaders of our church. So, dapat we invest also our resources not only in sa mga may edad na, kundi lalo tigit sa lahat sa mga kabataan, sa mga anak natin, no? And with why there are poor churches in terms of disciple making, sabi doon, we divert our best leaders to ministries other than discipleship. So parang nagagamit yung ating mga leaders sa iba't ibang mga ministry, hindi sa making disciples. Okay? Another thing, what makes a church effective? Ano naman daw ang isang church na very effective sa discipleship making? So kailangan natin ng mga leaders, no, na meron pong passion to make disciples. Kailangan natin ng depth. Pag sinabing nating depth, personal growth and spiritual reproduction were one of the same. Yung lahat tayo merong iisa lamang, no? Nandun yung unity of the mind. No, unity in one spirit in everything. So dapat din nandun yung maturity ng simbahan, no? Another is that para po maging effective tayo, kailangan din yung practices, no? Yung para bang the repeated acting of the will, no? Na magki-create ng habits at magki-create ng character, yung process, no? Yung proseso natin, yung ating pong journey, no? Yung ating discipleship process, interactive. Ibig sabihin, discipleship is done in community, not in isolation. Wherein, sabi nga natin, it's a community call. It means all of us are involved into multi-phase. Sabi nga natin, there's a variety of trust toward building us up in Christ, yung lifelong. Don't think program, trust the process, and then Christ-like, the marker is just being formed in His image. All else is a waste of effort. So, kailangan natin consider lahat ito, yung leader's depth, maturity, practice, yung proseso, yung interactive, yung multi-phase, lifelong, tsaka yung Christ-like to become effective sa ating pong ministry in making disciple. Okay, so I think we stop from here and we are done. So next meeting natin po, let me just stop